Well, hey everyone, Mac Atkinson here. So happy to be with you. I'm with Dolphin and our very special guest tonight, Lorraine, who's been willing to join us and talk with us a little bit in the sixth and final call of our 2025 spring training session that we provided for you guys. I'm really excited about this call. First of all, Lorraine, for you to be here and to be sharing with us, but this is going to kind of be an overview of some of the results, I should say, associated with Dolphin, your wonderful spring cleanse that you provide. And I'm just so happy that we're able to share some of this information with people on the backside of a cleanse, if you will. And before we get started, I just want to, as I always do, remind everybody that none of the information presented in this presentation is intended to represent a diagnosis or cure of any illness or disease. And Larry, before we get going on this, I just want to congratulate you for being the winner of our 2025 Go Green Bundle Challenge. And again, it was so awesome to see your post of your unboxing of these products, and I know you've been using them and so forth. And um, maybe this is a great time, Finn. You're our guru of the cleanses, okay? So I want to certainly turn this over to you, but maybe if you guys don't mind starting by maybe just sharing a little bit about your personal reasons for participating in a cleanse. And Finn, maybe you can start, and then you can kind of help Lorraine through this.
Sure. So yeah, we twice a year our bodies we want to always think about. I heard this really great comparison that our bodies are we have two rooms, the kitchen and the bathroom, and so we need to always nourish our body, and we also need to eliminate what we feed ourselves with. And so equinox, the time of year when the sun is at its perfect balance between night and day is a perfect time to do some cleansing. And so I lead people through a 10-day process where we slowly come off of solid foods as we increase our liquids. We use lots and lots of the Sunrider foods, which are very nutrient dense and very easy to assimilate, and go through this process as a group. And we delve into the internal body at the same time because so much of how we eat and connect and socialize is a very emotional and can be a mental thing as well. So it's a very encompassing experience. We've been doing it a long time, and Lorene has been one of my longtime cleansers. Right there from the beginning. And so, yeah, Lorene, why have you been doing it for so long? Do you join us?
Well, for me, I find that having that opportunity to do some internal work with my body to reset my metabolism a little bit and give my liver a rest also gives my mind an opportunity to reset and set some goals. We do a lot of goal setting when we work with Finn and her cleanses. And for me, I get that mental, spiritual time for me. It's kind of my holiday, that I take and give myself to take care of myself. I am a school teacher and I am a very busy person in my lifestyle, and I don't always give myself the TLC that I need. And when I do a cleanse, it just gives me that time to reset, look at some of my goals, definitely get some inflammation down in my body from my eating habits, and re-examine some things that I'd like to be doing in my future to help improve myself. So it's a good hallmark place for me.
Awesome. That is so great. It's funny. I heard you use the word reset, which is kind of what I was thinking too. And Finn, as you know, I didn't have an opportunity to go through the spring cleanse with you, but I have in the past. And Lorena, it was kind of the same for me. I like the way you described it as kind of a self-care approach for yourself too. That once or twice a year, you can actually focus on yourself. You can do these things to reset. And, a couple other things that were so cool about it that I remember and I just know are true about you, Dolphin, is you create such a safe environment for people to come together, to be sharing about what's going on in their life, to talk about some of their habits, eating and otherwise, to kind of get into the emotional, spiritual side of things too, and what's going on in our lives. And I so appreciated that because it was such an easy environment for sharing and coming out of that growth. So again, wonderful, wonderful stuff. Um, you know, Kind of moving on, I guess the next thing I would ask of you both is how has this helped you guys maintain your healthy lifestyle. I mean, 10 days is great on the cleanse, okay? But then what happens on day 11 through day 350 some odd math? Sorry, the rest of the year, okay? And maybe you can tackle that one, and then we'll let Lorene talk too.
Well, exactly. So everyone's different, and I will say every for me and is different as far as each cleanse gives me some new insight. I'm at different place in my life each time. So sometimes it's really easy to maintain, and I'm just really focused. I have really clear goals,
Mhm.
and it just feels right. Other times it's like, oh, you fall back into the old patterns. But that's what's so great about why I decided to do this twice a year,
Mhm.
is because even if we do fall off, summertime, you kind of indulge and enjoy and maybe forget about those goals that you had. Fall comes around and we're ready to get back at it. And the thing is, each time we do it, there's more improvement. There's more awareness. And I have to say, I'm really happy Lorene brought this up, is this time around, I really felt the difference between the inflammation in my body through the winter of eating particularly wheat, dairy, and processed foods, sugars, right? And how much inflammation, how much pain that can create in my body. During the cleanse, you it's amazing how much even in 10 days it's just like you release a lot of that inflammation and that discomfort, and it was powerful enough for me this time around to just say, you know what, I'm just not interested in bringing that back. So Kyo Dakiwa, and that's Japanese for just for today. So I take it one day at a time, and I would say that with everyone, even if you do fall off the wagon, maybe one day, it's like, don't just then give up. It's like you get to start over again. And it's like, okay, today I'm going to get back into some juicing, into some fruits and vegetables, and see how you feel. And so that's what I'm noticing is I'm really motivated because I'm feeling so good in my body right now. I don't want to feel that pain and discomfort. So each day, even if the idea is, I maybe want some ice cream, and then you're like, do I want to wake up with a headache? No, not really. Okay, well, let's have something else. And the nice thing about the cleanse is you get lots of recipes and a lot of suggestions of still feeling like you're eating fun stuff and yummy stuff, but it's not creating that inflammation in the body.
Yeah.
Lorraine, how about you? What's going on this time around for you?
Well, the one thing I love about Dolphins cleanses is that you get some really good skill sets on how to stack and maintain goals. And I don't have 20 things on my list. I pick one, possibly two things that I want to improve on, and then I move forward from there and stack my goals so that the next cleanse I'll add another additional goal, and that helps me stay in the zone. I have success in my track record, and I can move forward with some really good momentum. So my goal this time, as I was having a lot of problems with inflammation, my knee was swelling up, I wasn't doing great. I found that for me, eating an alkali diet has been a key to helping me stay in the zone that I want to be with the mobility that I would love to have in my body. So having Dolphin help me with some things on food choices and portion sizes, as well as how my body works in the cleanse, is instrumental. And I tell you, I've done this cleanse for many, many years with Dolphin, and I learned something new every single time. So I highly recommend anyone who would like to do some self work and put some time into it to definitely visit a cleanse with Dolphin.
Awesome. Thank you, by the way, for sharing one of your goals about the inflammation or reducing inflammation in your life and your diet and for your body going forward. And that's something we'll help you stay accountable on, okay? So that's cool. No, I tell you, Lorene, I've gone through some of the similar things coming out of these in the past myself, and I'm I'm the first to admit I do go through the roller coaster cycles a lot of time with my diets and eating and so forth. And I'll tell you, one of the things I'm very excited about right now is I'm going to be heading down to Mexico for a little bit. And I've already made the plan. I'm going to focus on my eating down there. It's going to be walking and exercise every day. Certainly I'll get some of that fresh vitamin D, from being at the beach, and those wonderful ions that come from being down there too. But that is so cool the way you shared that. And again, congratulations on the results that you have coming out of these things. Fantastic stuff. With that said, would you tell us, or Finn, however, whichever one of you want to start with this, what products do you guys think are the most ideal for maintaining this approach with anti-inflammation, et cetera, moving forward? I mean, are there any special things that you guys would like to share?
Well, I always start with the foundational foods. I mean, and what does that mean? In Sunrider, we have 5 foundational foods: the Cali, the Fortune Delight, the New Plus, the Quinary, and Sun Care. And without going into huge detail about all of those, we've done many webinars on them. But the Cali and the Fortune, of course, are beverages that nourish our kidneys and our liver. So again, we want to keep the cleansing, the flushing, moving through the body. They're very alkaline, as Laureen mentioned. And then New Plus is a very anti-inflammatory food. It's like a pablum or a porridge kind of consistency. And I mean, if I have to pick one, it's New Plus for me. It has, it has some of the herbs that have the Vitatase, which helps us reduce our desire for sugar. It has the, foods for our endocrine system, which again, quite often affects our mental and emotional body. And it helps develop, tissue, bone tissue, muscle tissues. So I love the New Plus. Quinary, of course, is for balancing. And then the Sun Care for our blood sugars. So that's where I always say, like, when people finish the cleanse, especially for people that it's their first time and they don't know where it's like, and budget and everything like that, start with the foundational foods. And then if you have, then we can add on to that. And I know after the foundation, the next one is going to be one of Laureen's favorites. So Laureen, I'll let you talk about that one.
Oh, absolutely. I was so excited when one of the prizes that I won was Evergreen, because it is a wonder product. It has so much chlorophyll in it and greens. It's like drinking all your vegetables in a beverage. If you don't know what Evergreen is, it's a small little vial with a highly concentrated formula of a lot of green vegetables and chlorophyll and a little bit of iron in there. And I put mine in a 2-liter bottle. So it lasts me all day long. And I know that I'm getting the required liquids that I want as well. I can't say enough about it. It's good for our blood. It's good for our energy. It's good for keeping us alkaline and keeping our bodies in tip-top shape. I just love the product so much. Is there anything you would like to add about it?
Well, I don't know about it other than endorse what you just said for sure. I've always been a big fan of Evergreen myself, Lorraine, and have used it in so many different ways over the years, up to and including as being the designated driver. I love to put it in a little bit of sparkling water at a party so I can at least feel like I'm being festive. But it's a wonderful thing. It helps with digestion, as you mentioned. I mean, there's so many benefits to Evergreen, and it's been great. I mean, listening to what both of you just got through saying, I mean, the springtime is all about the wood element and the immune system, and the 2 key organs of our liver and our gallbladder, which again, we've talked about many times. But Finn, the comment you made about Fortune Delight and Cali, I mean, these foods that we have really have tremendous synergy in what we're trying to accomplish in this traditional Chinese medicine, dealing with the seasons the way that we do. And I just love it. Couple of things I would share too. You mentioned alkalinity, okay, and the fact that you're looking to create an alkaline environment in your body, which again, we've talked about many times. When we have an alkaline environment in our body versus acid, it's very, very challenging for disease or for bad things to happen in our systems. So again, striving for that alkaline environment. And one of my original mentors in Sunrider, JW and Lois Emerson. JW has passed away, but Lois is still here. And her Pathways newsletter, which is part of my newsletter that I'm sending out this month, talks a lot about the foods that we're eating, creating that alkaline ash once they are digested in our body. And again, this is something we can talk about in more detail later, but I love you that the fact that you bring this up. And the last thing I'll share, and again, I'm not sure if it's in Canada, so I'm a little bit hesitant, but I've already jumped into it, so I will. Here in the United States, they've just created a new bundle pack for us, which is all about the NBCs. It's Quinary, it's New Plus, it's Cali, and it's well, Sunny Dew in this particular case. Sun Care is our Sun Nectar equivalent. So again, it's really cool to see Sunrider creating these packs, whereas new people come in. Then you mentioned it, budget oriented, et cetera. What things do we want them to truly consume? These bundle packs, I think, will be great for all of us to be able to share with folks. And I know from speaking with Kevin and some of the other managers, they're working to create some flexibility within that too. Do you want Cali Original or do you want Cali Mint? Do you want New Plus Simply, well, not Simply Herbs, that would be a bad example. Do you want New Plus Original or do you want Pina Banana? You know, that kind of thing. So again, all of this is Sunrider's paying attention, and they're really helping us to develop some of these cool things that we can share with others. With that said, I'd like to kind of just get into something that I certainly, well, I referenced it before, and I've certainly found in doing the cleanses with you in the past, Finn, is, you know, how these programs have helped in other aspects of our life. I mean, the mental, the emotional, the spiritual, and even the financial business aspect that we learn about when we get involved with these foods. And Finn, turn it back to you to start with on this one.
Absolutely. So again, when we're nourishing ourselves, we feel better, we think better. So we have that opportunity then to think from a higher space, a higher standard. You know, Cali, you know, it opens up the pineal gland, for example. So it's amazing how when I witness people experience the cleanse, they continue on with Sunrider, I see a change in their personalities, more confidence, uh, more empathy, a connection to their self, to their higher self. These are things that happen when we regenerate. And I also have felt that and experienced that on the flip side, right? When people are putting in foods that are just dead. And so it's really hard then to feel, you know, a connection to other people or a connection with yourself when you're eating foods that are just, you know, completely dead. And you know, that typical North American diet of processed foods, you know, deep fry, sugars, and they just create so much ash and brings the energy down. So we do absolutely in the cleanse. I lead people through exercises to get more in touch with themselves. But what's really exciting for me is, like I said, of just when people engage in that, and Lorene said it so well, it's a little bit of improvement every day. Like, just how can I improve today? It doesn't have to be some big, you know, like I was here, now I'm here. No, it's the turtle journey. It's you just keep moving, keep going, and you make a little bit of progress every day. And all of a sudden, it's like, whoa, like I'm over here already. And I have witnessed that definitely with people in my life, but Lorene is one of my greatest joys, and I'm so and like a proud mama. I love just seeing her transform. She used to be so quite shy, and yet, you know, she's this leader. She's this articulate, beautiful woman, and just seeing the leadership come out in her. She started as a customer and slowly just was introducing and being more and more consistent with the Sunrider foods. And just recently, she's like, you know what? It makes sense for me now to start looking at the business and becoming an IBO. And so, Lorene, I'd love for you to just share some of your story and your insights into what that progression and what made you decide to move in that direction.
Well, definitely it's using the foods. The Sunrider foods are key to understanding anything about the business. I felt so good a year ago when I started using the NBC program with the New Plus and the Quinary and the Evergreen. Sorry, I added Evergreen this year, but the Cali Tea and the Fortune Delight, that I made it part of my daily routine. As a teacher, I need to have good fuel and I deserve to have good fuel. So I started using the products, and then it just made sense to me that I'm feeling better. This is doing a great job. I was even losing weight. I lost 47 pounds in a year's time. So I was working very hard, on my goals and setting goals. And then I just found a place where in my heart, I said, this stuff can help others. And I want to give back just as much as I have been given too. So I've been working with Dolphin and Cheryl and Mac. Now you're now part of my Sunrider family, to see how I can reach out and help others with these products, because they are absolutely fantastic. They can change you and give you that lifestyle that you deserve to have.
Absolutely. Such cool stuff. I It was funny, Dolphin. You've met my wife, of course, and have known her for some time. And when I was sharing with her about what we were going to be talking about today, and when I got to this particular question in the conversation, and she saw the mental, emotional, spiritual part, her one comment was, she said, these cleanses are great, these foods are great because they really help you connect with your inner source. Okay. And I think that's something you referenced in your own terminology just a minute ago. And it is so cool. The business aspect, absolutely, Lorraine, and I'm so pleased to hear you say the things you did, because you're right. When I look at Sunrider and in this opportunity we have, it began for me, like all of us, as becoming a product of the product, actually using these foods. Okay. And there's a lot of reasons for doing that, our own personal health, etc. But not the least of which is that we can develop our own personal testimony. So as we're speaking with other people, we can do so with integrity, not what we've heard from somebody else, not what we think may be the case, but we can tell our own personal story with integrity, which is wonderful. And, it all begins that way. And I certainly know for myself, and I've seen for so many others, as we have our own testimony, as we begin to share, we find that other people become interested as well. And like you said, sharing, giving this back to others, okay, creates then a little bit of income for us where maybe some of our foods can be paid for. And as we continue to share with more people and help those that we've already shared with, it's really unlimited. I mean, there's, a number of different ranks within Sunrider. Each of them has their own reward attached to them in terms of income potential. And again, it's limitless. It all depends on us and how much we want to go out and share and support and really create something for ourselves coming out of Sunrider. So, again, ladies, thank you so much. This has been wonderful. It's so good to hear. I mean, we talk all the time, Finn, each year about this is what happens in the cleanse and this is what we're going to experience and everything. But to hear it on the back end, especially from you, Lorene, is so wonderful. And I can't thank you enough for sharing the way you did. Do either of you have any last comments you'd like to make about the cleanse or anything before we shut this thing down today?
Well,
There's just
go
one
ahead.
thing I would like to add is that we have such a beautiful community when we cleanse together, that support system is still being used and leveraged even when we set our goals after the cleanse. We're on WhatsApp and we can communicate with Finn, and we just have that unconditional support. And I think that's invaluable when you're going to work on a new program for yourself.
Absolutely. Dolphin?
Awesome. Yeah. And well, first, Mac, just thank you always for creating these opportunities for us to share, because, the more that people hear about it might just be the right thing for the right person at the right time. So just know that, yeah, these happen twice a year, spring and fall. I've been doing it for over 20 years. And then, if people are interested in knowing more now and what can they do, we finished the cleanse. Oh no, we got to wait till fall. No, there's absolutely things that we can do to prepare ourselves for when it's time to do the 10 days again in the fall. So yeah, just thank you, Mac. I appreciate you.
My pleasure. And Again, to our audience that's listening in, it always is a pleasure, but we've really had fun in this spring season of 2025. I mean, 6 separate training calls. We've covered a lot of territory. Spring in the wood element. We talked about the immune system health. We've talked about adaptogens. We've talked about spring cleaning. We've talked about spring cleanse. And now we've heard a little bit about what really happens during a spring cleanse and how we come out of these things. So again, thank you both so much for joining me today. And again, to our listeners, stay tuned. We'll be back to you. Summer's right around the corner. So right after convention, we'll be back talking to you about summer and the fire element in mid to late June. So until then, thank you, everybody.